They told you poverty was about money, but that's the last symptom, not the root cause. True poverty, the kind that steals decades, drowns dreams, and leaves you wide awake in the middle of the night staring at the ceiling, doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your thoughts. Every excuse you've ever made, every opportunity you didn't take, every moment you believed someone else's voice over your own. That was the seed, and now you live in the harvest. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter who failed you. It doesn't even matter what was taken from you, because the greatest theft isn't external. The greatest theft is self-inflicted amnesia, forgetting your own power. You weren't born to stay small. You were trained to stay small. Think about it. What were you told as a child? Don't dream too big. Money doesn't grow on trees. Be realistic. Just be grateful you have a job. But look closer. That's not humility. That's fear in disguise. You inherited the limitations of people who stopped believing in their own future. And now it's your job to break the chain, because poverty isn't just the absence of wealth. It's the presence of doubt, the belief that you're stuck, that this is as good as it gets, that success is for someone else. And the real tragedy? You start to decorate your cage. You call it stability. You tell yourself, I'm doing okay, when deep down, your soul is screaming for more. And that's the thing about mental poverty. It's invisible to the naked eye. You can be well dressed and bankrupt inside. You can drive a nice car and still feel like you're drowning. You can scroll motivational quotes all day long. But if you don't change your identity, you stay broke on the inside. This is why you sabotage your progress. This is why you get close and pull back. This is why you say, I want to be rich with your mouth, but I'm not worthy with your habits. Your mind is a battlefield. And the war was never about money. It was about belief. Andrew Carnegie said it best. Any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical forms available. Translation: whatever you believe consistently, you will manifest. You are living proof of your dominant thoughts. So look around. Your current life is your belief system made visible. No one cast a spell on you. You repeated the same lie until it became your truth. But here's the part they never taught you in school. You can rewire that truth. You can burn the blueprint. You can choose a new mental operating system. Because just as poverty begins in the mind, so does wealth. And if you're brave enough to confront the virus in your thoughts, if you're ruthless enough to delete every limiting belief, if you're disciplined enough to install new mental commands day after day after day, you won't just break the cycle. You'll destroy it so thoroughly, your grandchildren won't even remember it existed. But it starts now, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when it feels comfortable, because poverty waits for your hesitation. Wealth rewards your decision. So what will you believe today? You want to be rich? Then stop thinking like someone trying to escape life. Start thinking like someone trying to build life. The difference is everything. Escape thinkers look for comfort. Builders, they look for clarity. They don't ask, how can I get out of this? They ask, what must I become to transcend this? Because wealth isn't found in shortcuts. It's found in transformation. And transformation isn't sexy. It's not sold on Instagram. It's not a dopamine hit. It's a decision, a violent, non-negotiable. Burn. The boat's decision that says, I will no longer live on default. I will reprogram everything. My habits, my identity, my circle, my self-talk, until my mind becomes a machine for greatness. But don't get it twisted. This isn't hype. This is war. And the battlefield is your daily life. It's waking up at 5 a.m. when no one's watching. It's saying no to easy pleasure and yes to long-term power. It's reading when your mind craves entertainment. It's acting when your feelings beg you to wait. It's deleting the excuses, unsubscribing from the pity, and cutting off everything that feels safe but keeps you stuck. That's how rich people think. Not financially rich, mentally sovereign. You know what's keeping most people poor? They think like victims. They wake up and react to life. They say, I hope this is a good day. Hope? That's not a strategy. That's a leash. The successful command their day. They decide who they are, how they move, what they tolerate, and what they reject. They set standards so high. Average people call them obsessed. But obsession isn't the problem. Mediocrity is. You weren't born for mediocrity. That's just the default mode that runs when you don't choose something greater. Look at the greats: Ford, Edison, Disney, Hill. They all shared one trait: mental dominion. They weren't smarter. They weren't luckier. They were just all in, fully bought into their vision. They thought from the end. They trained their subconscious to obey, not suggest. And when the world told them, "You're crazy," they smiled, because only those labeled delusional ever build anything revolutionary. So ask yourself, are you protecting a belief system that was handed to you by broke minds? Are you living out inherited scarcity because it's familiar? Because if you are, the cost isn't just money. It's your life, your potential, your one shot at becoming something history can't ignore. So rewrite the code. Start with your language. Every "I'm trying" becomes "I will." Every "I don't know" becomes "I will find out." Every "maybe someday" becomes "it starts now." Because poverty ends the moment you decide to kill the old version of yourself. You don't need more motivation. You need a mental revolution. Let me be clear. Poverty isn't just about your bank account. It's about your standards. And standards are internal. They show up in how you do the smallest things. You can tell everything about a person by how they treat the invisible, the things nobody sees, how they wake up, how they breathe before speaking, how they clean up their space, how they treat time, treat others, treat themselves when there's no reward, because that's who you really are, not your profile picture, not your goals on paper, your rituals, your discipline, your emotional response under pressure. That's the truth. And your results, they never lie. See, most people are obsessed with outcomes, but winners, they're obsessed with inputs, with planting, with tending the soil, because they know if you do the right thing long enough, the harvest is inevitable. But the poor mindset, it always looks for immediate returns. It can't handle delay. It trades the future for the now. It says, "I deserve comfort before it's earned power." This is why success is so rare, because wealth is a game of mental weightlifting, and most people won't even show up to the gym. They want to feel inspired before they act. But action creates inspiration, not the other way around. You think Edison waited for motivation before inventing the light bulb? He failed over 1,000 times. Do you think he felt excited on failure number 974? No. He acted because the vision was louder than the excuses. And that's what you need. A vision so loud it drowns out your doubt. So vivid it burns through your distractions. So powerful it reorganizes your habits, overrides your cravings, and whispers in your ear every single day. Get up. We're not done. And let me tell you, once you become addicted to progress, poverty loses its grip, because it can't survive in the presence of purpose. Purpose breathes oxygen into discipline. Discipline forges identity. And identity, that's the software that controls everything. Your choices, your confidence, your relationships, your results. It's not what you do occasionally. It's who you become daily. That's why you need to build habits that are bigger than your feelings. Systems that don't ask for permission. You wake up, you execute, not based on mood, but on mission. If the plan is clear, you don't need to feel good. You need to be good at sticking to it. That's how you separate yourself in a world of talkers. Consistency is the currency of the rare. You keep doing it. When it's boring, when it's painful, when nobody claps. Because you know you're not working for approval. You're working for alignment. You're not chasing success. You're becoming it. The world doesn't need another dreamer. It needs a finisher. So burn the excuses. Starve the distractions. Sharpen your system until it cuts through chaos like a blade. This is the work that rewires your subconscious. This is the work that turns belief into biology. This is the work that makes poverty impossible. And now, look in the mirror. Not at your face, but through it. Beyond the tired eyes. Past the fears. Beneath the stories you've told yourself 1,000 times. There it is. That fire. That flicker of the person you were meant to become. And I ask you, what would happen if you stopped negotiating with mediocrity? What if today you deleted every excuse, refused to be the victim of your own thinking, decided that you'd rather be exhausted from progress than comfortable in stagnation? You see, poverty isn't just a lack of money. It's a disease of the mind. It makes you forget who you are. It shrinks your imagination. It whispers lies. That's too risky. You're not ready. Play it safe. Next time. But here's the truth. There is no next time, only now. And every time you hesitate, every time you delay the action you know you must take, you feed the enemy. You give permission for the weaker version of you to live another day. And that version, it's starving your future. It's robbing your potential. It's keeping you exactly where you are, trapped in routines you didn't choose, settling for goals that weren't even yours. But it doesn't have to stay that way, because right here, right now, you can flip the switch. You can become the person who's too dangerous to doubt, too focused to be distracted, too disciplined to be denied. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to become undeniable. You need to rise before the world is awake. Move while others sleep. Think while others scroll. Train while others whine. You need to walk into your day like a force of nature, decisive, silent, certain. The ones who change the world don't announce it. They embody it. So stop waiting for a sign. Be the sign. Stop praying for the path to be easier. Make yourself stronger. Don't wait for approval. Self-authorize. Don't ask for the map. Be the compass. Because the greatest poverty in life isn't financial. It's the poverty of purpose, the poverty of courage, the poverty of execution. You were not born to beg for scraps. You were built to build. You were not meant to be a background character in your own story. You were born to lead it, to write the chapters in bold, to break the cycle, to be the first in your bloodline to rise so high it rewrites what your last name means. But none of that happens until you decide, until you stop blaming the economy, your parents, your past, your partner, your pain, until you point the finger in the mirror and say, enough. If it is to be, it is up to me. That's the moment the mind unlocks. That's when wealth starts pouring. Not from the outside, but from within. Because wealth is a vibration, a standard, a level of self-respect. And it begins the moment you say, I will never live small again. You walk differently. You speak differently. You show up with eyes that have seen the truth, that everything you need has always been inside you. So burn the poverty, burn the lies, burn the weak habits, the low standards, the lazy choices. And from those ashes, rise as the most dangerous, unstoppable, self-made version of you the world has ever seen. This is no longer about motivation. It's about identity. It's about ownership. It's about reclaiming your birthright to be great, not someday, not when the stars align. Now, because success doesn't knock, you have to build the damn door, kick it open, and walk through like you own the house. So remember this, poverty begins in the mind, but so does power. And today, you choose which one lives.